Hello dear scholars, today we will be discussing about planning. Planning is a very important and crucial function of management. It is the primary function of management. It is a pervasive function and is required in all kinds of organization irrespective of its nature and type. We call it as a primary function because based on planning, rest all the functions are dependent. So it is very crucial for an organization to plan all its activities beforehand. Planning tells us what needs to be done, when it is to be done, how it is to be done, and by whom it is to be done in the organization. So planning is a futuristic activity. We have to very crucially predetermine the current business environment. We have to scan the business, we have to scan the resources, and then planning needs to be done. Planning tells us where we are right now and where we want to reach. It means that it bridges the gap between where we are and where we have to reach. Planning is based on predictions and assumptions. It is an intellectual process. It involves a lot of rational and critical analysis of the current circumstances and the futuristic results. Planning helps in setting up of objectives for the organization. It also helps in streamlining the whole process and function of the organization in order to achieve those objectives. It involves decision making and it also involves the process of evaluating all the different alternatives we have. Thus, various kinds of feasibility studies are also conducted when planning is done. Planning gives direction to the organization. It is a very meaningful and purposeful activity. Planning leads to success of any organization. Planning is an expensive activity, but it is worth its cost. It is very rightly said, failing to plan is planning to fail. If we don't plan our daily course activities, if we don't plan all the tasks that we need to perform, if we do not plan our goals and objectives, what we need to achieve, it would at the end result in failure of the organization or as an individual also. Therefore, it is an inevitable part of any management. Management has to undergo various kinds of plans in the organization. So in this class today, we will be discussing about the importance of planning and the different types of plans that any organization has to make, like objectives, policies, strategies, rules, or budgets, we say. So that is what we will be discussing today. So let's start with the class.
To turn every dream into reality, every business organization have to think about future, make predictions and achieve targets. Planning involves thinking in advance what is to be done, when it is to be done, how it is to be done, and by whom it should be done. Planning is chalking out plan of action, that is, the result envisaged in the line of action to be followed, the stage to go through, the methods to use. It is a thinking process, the organized foresight, the vision based on facts and experience that is required for intelligent action. Thus, planning can be defined as setting objectives for a given time period, formulating various course of actions to achieve them, and then selecting the best possible alternative from the different course of actions is called planning. Planning is of vital importance as it supersedes all other functions of management. Therefore, sound planning is an essential condition for effective management. So let us discuss the importance of planning one by one. First importance is it focuses attention on objectives of the company, which means planning function begins with the setting up of objectives, policies, procedures, methods and rules. These are the different kinds of plans that we have, which are made in planning to achieve the objectives only. When employees follow the plan, they are leading towards the achievement of these objectives. Through planning, efforts of all the employees are directed towards the achievement of organizational goals and objectives. Second is, planning reduces the risk of uncertainty. It enables managers to look ahead and anticipate the environmental changes. It shows the way to deal with changes and uncertain events. Business environment is related to different kind of uncertainties. There are various external forces which are beyond the organization's control. Therefore, it is better that we predict those changes or try to anticipate the changes in the business environment and take up appropriate response towards them. The third is planning provides direction, as planning is concerned with predetermined course of action and it sets clear goals which serves as the guide for actions to be taken. By stating in advance how work is to be done, planning provides the whole action plan. It makes clear what employees have to do and how they have to do it. This will in turn lead to unity of direction. The fourth point is about planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. Since planning ensures clarity in thoughts and actions, work is carried on smoothly without any interruptions. Useless and redundant activities are eliminated or minimized. It is easier to detect inefficiencies and to remove them with the help of proper planning. Confusions and misunderstandings can be avoided. Plans ensure clarity of thoughts and action and work, which would carry on the work smoothly. This also helps in integration of all the activities in the organization, thus resulting in coordination between different departments and among employees. The fifth importance is it promotes innovative ideas. Planning requires high thinking and it is an intellectual process as we have discussed earlier. So there is a great scope of finding better ideas, better methods and procedures to perform a particular job. Planning helps in generating new ideas. These innovative ideas will ultimately lead to growth and prosperity of the business. Planning process forces the managers to think differently and assume the future conditions, thus making the managers innovative and creative. The sixth importance is planning establishes standards for controlling. As planning provides the goals or standards against which the actual performance can be measured. By comparing the actual performance with these standards which have been set, managers can know whether there is a need for any remedial actions to be taken. Therefore, it provides a base for controlling. Apart from this, planning has few more importance, such as it makes activities meaningful, it brings order in place of chaos, improves the efficiency and economy of operations. It even facilitates in decision making and bridges the gap between the present and future. Now, what is meant by a plan? Plan is a document that outlines how goals are going to be met. It is a specific action proposed to help the organization achieve its objectives. There may be more than one way and means of reaching a particular goal, but with the help of logical plans, objectives of an organization could be easily achieved. There are basically two types of plans: single-use plans and standing plans. Single-use plans are one-time use plans. These are designed to achieve a particular goal that once achieved will not reoccur in future. These are made to meet the needs of unique situations, and they can be discarded when the situation is over. However, on the other hand, standing plans are those plans which focuses on situation which occur repeatedly. Therefore, they are also called repeat use plans. These plans can be used over and over again. They are made once but retain their value over a period of years. Although some revisions and updates can be made in these plans from time to time. The examples of single-use plans are budget and program. However, the examples of standing use plans are objectives, policies, rules, procedures, and strategies. Now, let us discuss the different types of plans or the common plans that are formulated by managers at different levels. The first one is objective, strategies, policies, procedures, rules, programs, methods, and budgets. Now let us understand what do we mean by objectives. Objectives are the ends towards which the activities are directed. They are the end result of every activity. Every organization is established to achieve some purpose, which is called its objectives. Objectives indicate the destination of the organization. The process of planning begins with the setting up of objectives. Objectives are the ultimate goals established to guide the efforts of the company and each of its components. Therefore, the essentials of objectives are: it is very clear and specific. It should specify the results to be achieved rather than what activities have to be performed. They must be time bound and they must be measurable as far as possible, that is, quantitative in terms. Objectives must be achievable and they should be feasible. Objectives should be acceptable to people and it should be laid down in all key result areas such as market standing, innovation, productivity, physical and financial resources, manager performance and development, workers' performance and attitude, profitability, public and social responsibility, etc. Objectives should provide some flexibility in the organization. Example can be: increase sales by 20%, decrease the rejections in production by 2%, hire 50 hardcore employees to the organization. The second type of plan are strategies. Now, a strategy is a comprehensive, that means detailed, and integrated plan which indicates the desired future of the organization. It is also called the blueprint of an organization's desired destination, and it gives the direction and image about the organization. The various dimensions of strategy are: first, determining long-term objectives. Second, it helps in adopting a particular course of action. And third, in allocating resources for achieving the objectives. Strategies are mostly formulated by the top level people, and it also requires scanning and understanding clearly the business environment before we frame a strategy. Therefore, strategies are integrated and multi-pronged plans. It is action-oriented and is more specific than objectives. It generally means to cope with competition and other environmental pressures. It also seeks to ensure the deployment, that means engagement of the key resources of the organization in the best possible manner. Strategies provide a broad contour. Contour means approach, a technique, or a tactics of an organization in business. It usually takes the course of forming the organization's identity in the business environment. The third type of plan are policies. Policies can be defined as organization's general response to a particular problem or situation. In general sense, it is the organization's own way of handling the problems that they face. Policies are made at every level because the managers at every level need to decide or predetermine the way of handling a situation, and policies act as a guide to take decisions in unexpected situations. Hence, it means that a policy is a general statement that guides decision making. Policies also define the boundaries within which decisions can be taken, and they direct decisions towards the accomplishment of the objectives. Thus, we can say that policies are guidelines that help in delegation, in decision, discretion, and behavior of executives and employees in the organization. Example of a policy can be any recruitment policy that the company has adopted, or either a policy for no credit sale. Next in the hierarchy comes procedures. Procedures are required steps established in advance to handle future conditions. The sequence of steps to be followed by employees in different situations must be predetermined so that everyone follows the same steps in organization. The procedures can be defined as the exact manner in which an activity has to be completed. Therefore, procedures explain the sequence of steps to carry for different activities in organization. They are generally meant for insiders, that means the internal stakeholders, and are mostly in a chronological order. The sequence of steps or actions to be taken to enforce a policy and attain predetermined objectives is a procedure. Procedures are mostly implemented on routine and recurring jobs. It helps in improving the efficiency by providing standards and the best manner of doing a particular job. It also helps in maintaining consistency and uniformity of actions. Procedures play a very vital role in the day-to-day functioning of an organization, as it provides the time and order of performance. Examples can be grievance procedure, selection procedure, purchase procedure, procedure for processing orders, procedure to handle the orders by manufacturing department, that may also involve sales department, etc. Now the fifth in the row is methods. Methods can be defined as formalized or systematic way of doing routine or repetitive jobs. The manager decide in advance the common way of doing a particular job so that there is no doubt in the minds of the employees. There can be unity of action, and it also helps in applying the techniques of standardization and simplification. The methods also act as guide for the employees. Selection of the right method saves time, money, and increases the efficiency. Methods can vary from task to task. Mostly, standard methods represent the best way of performing a job. Therefore, it's a standardized way of accomplishing repetitive jobs. For example, methods for valuation of stock, method for valuation or charging depreciation are examples of methods as a type of plan. The sixth type of plan is rules. Rules are specific statements of what should or should not be done in specific situations. The only discretion left to employees is whether or not to apply the rules. Rules spell out special actions or non-actions of the employees. Thus, rules create an environment of discipline in the organization, as it strictly states whether the employees have to follow or not to follow. Rules allow no flexibility in the organization, and they generally guide the general behavior of the employees, and employees cannot make any amendments in them. It is compulsory for everybody to be following, otherwise the consequences would be severe. Rules channel the behavior of workers in the desired direction. The essence of a rule is that it reflects what action must or must not be taken. Example of a rule can be: all orders must be acknowledged within 48 hours of their receipt, is a part of procedure for processing orders. Next in the row comes budgets. A budget is a plan which states expected results of a given future period in numerical terms. That is, it is a statement of expected results which is always measurable, and most of the time these are financial in nature, but it does not mean that the company prepares only financial budgets. There are other kinds of budgets also which a company would prepare. It can also be expressed in terms of time or physical units. It is a projection defining the anticipated cost and results and the allocation of resources. Budgets are prepared in the organization for production, sales, materials, cash, capital expenditure, and various other purposes. It helps and acts as an instrument for planning and controlling. Budgets also serve as standards for evaluating the performance, and it's usually prepared for a financial year. Thus, budgets quantifies future facts and figures. It is also prepared by managers at various levels, and it is a controlling device from which the deviations can be taken care of. The last is programs. A program is a comprehensive plan designed to implement the policies and accomplish the objectives. It is a combination of goals, policies, procedures, and rules. All these plans together form a program. A program is a detailed statement about a project to be accomplished. It combines objectives, policies, procedures, and rules, and it is prepared for various activities. It includes entire gamut of activities. A program is result oriented, and it clearly mentions the resources to be included or used, the steps to be taken, the time period within which the task has to be completed. It also indicates who should do, what should be done, and how it should be done. Examples of a program can be developing a new project, developing a new product, construction of a shopping mall, a training program, an advertisement program, or an expansion program. Thus, I would like to conclude that planning stands as a base for all other management functions, and unplanned actions are likely to lead to undesirable consequences. Therefore, planning is essential for effective management of an organization. Thank you. Take care.